Hi everyone, welcome to Inspire Me. I'm so excited to be here today. I hope you all had a great holiday. It's been very different for many of us, and I hope you managed to enjoy it despite the different way we had to celebrate this year. We had a quiet day here at the Nash household. We spent the day in our pajamas, we watched movies, we played some board games, and just had a great day as a family. I'm glad you're joining us today. I have two quick projects. If you're joining, please be sure to say hi and let me know that you're here. And let's go ahead and get crafting. I'm just going to switch to my creative station. And we should be here. All right, so got the light up. So I thought tonight we would do a couple of things to ring in the new year. The first of which is this super cute little top hat, which you can use in your holiday celebrating to ring in the new year, and you can actually fill it with little treats. So let's show you how I created this. It was actually inspired by one I received a couple of years back from a friend of mine when we attended a New Year's party at her home. So to start, you want to cut a piece of basic black cardstock that measures 3 inches by 8 inches. So I'm going to cut that because I didn't have it pre-cut. And then with your Stampin' trimmer or your scoring tool, you are going to want to score along the long edge at 1/2 inch. So it's going to look just like that. And then you can put your trimmer aside. So you can see I've got that score line, and I'm just going to give it a fold. And then you're going to want to have your paper snips handy. And I apologize for the pinging. That's my husband looking for his phone. So once you have that folded, you're going to take your paper snips and we're going to create some little V cuts, which is going to allow us to form the cylinder. The tighter your cuts are, the tighter you're going to be able to roll the cardstock into that cylindrical shape. So you're just going to go all the way across. Hi, Sonia. Thanks for sharing. For those of you watching, don't forget to share. At the end of the live, I go back through and everyone that shared is entered into a draw, and you will receive the projects that I'm making here with you tonight. We've got our little cuts all the way across, and when you get to the ends, I like to just come in on an angle on each of the ends, just so that it fits nice and tight. So this is what you're left with once you've got all your cuts in. And again, there's no right or wrong as to how many cuts you have. Just the more that you have, the tighter you're going to be able to form that cylinder. Hi, Cora. So you can see I've got, they're nice and tight, forms a really nice cylinder. I'm happy with that. So what you want to do is take a pencil and just mark where you want that flap to lie. I'm just putting a little teeny tiny line on the outside there, and then I'm going to do one on the inside as well, where the inside flap lies. Because when I put my adhesive on, I want to make sure that it's lining up where I want it. And for this, I'm going to use tear and tape. So I'm going to pull in a piece here. And I'm going to put it just on the inside of that pencil line. And then one on the inside as well. And this one doesn't have to go all the way down. It's just got to go far enough that it's going to keep that flap from flipping back open. So I'm going to take my adhesive off there, and then again on the back side, and we're just going to form that cylinder using those pencil lines to line up where you want those edges to end up. So I've got one here. So there's my one edge, and then if I fold that in, my inside edge should line up nice and tight. So there we go. So there is the top portion of our top hat. So next what you want to do is take a scrap of basic black, and I'm using the Layering Circles dies, and I'm going to use this circle here. So it's from this grouping and it's the largest, and I'm going to cut out our top hat base using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is off camera, so bear with me just one moment. Okay, so we've got our little circle here, and now we're going to adhere our top hat to that circle. So again, I'm using tear and tape, and all I'm doing is tearing out little strips to lay across those pieces that we cut earlier. And 3 should do it. Like so. Once you've got them positioned, you're just going to peel the back off the tear and tape. And you're going to stick your top hat on top of the base, trying to get it as centered as possible. That one's not quite centered, but that's okay. So there we have our little top hat, but no top hat is complete without some trim. So I'm going to use some real red satin ribbon. And I'm just eyeballing it. But it really is about 6 inches, give or take. This one's 6.5. And I'm just going to use glue dots to attach it and hold it in place. I'm going to put a glue dot on the end. And I'm going to attach it right to my top hat, right along the base. I'm going to wrap it all the way around, and then we're going to use another glue dot on the other end to secure it. So there is our second little top hat, and as I mentioned, you can fill them with little treats and top your table, and you can of course dress them up. So I pulled out a couple of stamp sets. So the first one I pulled out is Make a Difference, because I want the little numbers. So I'm going to pull out the 2, the 0, and the 1, and we're going to make a little sign or tag to go with our top hat. The other stamp set I pulled out is Itty Bitty Christmas, because I want this Happy New Year. So I'm also going to pull out some Stampin' Right markers. And I'm going to grab some Whisper White cardstock. I just want some scraps. You don't need very much. So I'm just going to grab a piece here from my scraps. And I'm going to grab some blocks. So I've got a C block for my Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And then I've got my G block for my numbers. And what I love about these photopolymer numbers is you can put them together. So I'm going to stamp the 2-0 first, and then I'm going to stamp the 2-1 next, and we should be able to get them to line up perfectly. And I'm going to use Memento ink to do this. And as I mentioned, I'm going to pull in my markers. So I'm going to pull in Real Red to coordinate with our ribbon. All right, so what I want to do is use the brush tip from our marker. And we're going to color right on the stamp, just the Happy New Year part. And then you want to huff, so just breathe on where you've inked. So you can see I've got my Happy New Year in red. And now I'm going to use the Memento for my numbers. And I'm going to come in right on top. So there's my 20. And now I'm going to do 21. And I apologize if you get my head in the shot momentarily while I line that up. There we go. So there's our 21, and I smudged it just a little bit, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to freehand cut to shorten that. Like so. And then of course I like the banner flag ends, so I'm just going to create my little flag like so. So cute. And then I'm just going to attach that to our hat. You could even tuck it inside the ribbon a little bit to create that little flag. And I'm going to use glue dots again just to do that. So there we have our cute little New Year's table toppers. I know this New Year's is a little bit different, so having cute little treats to share with your family while you ring in the New Year is always fun. And if you have kids at home, they'll love getting a little treat as well. So that's project number 1. What does everybody think? I'm just going to tidy up for project number 2, so give me one moment here. All right. My stamps. This is our Stampin' Shanny. Love it. Hi, Michelle. Okay, so for our second project tonight, we're actually going to make a little desktop calendar. So this is my calendar from 2020, and clearly I need a new one. And what I love about these calendars is it pops up and sits on your desk. So we're going to make a new one for 2021. I've got my little calendar here. ready to go. But I need your help. So there's some beautiful new designer series paper packs in the upcoming mini catalog. It is available for customers starting next week. And if you are a demonstrator, you actually already have access to the items inside. If you'd like information on joining my team so that you have access to catalogs early, then I would be happy to have a conversation with you. So you can see on my sample here that it's mostly designer series paper. So we're going to use a new paper, but I want you to help me pick it. So I'm going to show you a couple of the packs I've pre-ordered here. So the first is probably my favorite. This is our Snail Mail designer series paper. It is part of the Snail Mail suite. So we have a whole suite of products dedicated to this adorable little guy. I love him. So here is our first papers. And then we have number 2. We've got these cute and colorful mushrooms with the back side being lovely little hearts. We've got some more snails with some stitched designs on the back side. We've got some mail being shipped and some stamp-like images. Some more mushrooms, smaller variety with some hello, bonjour, allo. So that is our snail mail pack. Super cute and bright. Love it. Next is the paper blooms. You can see I'm reading the names off the back because I don't know the names yet for all of these new papers. So here's number 1. We've got the beautiful flowers. I'm really liking this one. And some stripes on the back side. This one's got Rococo Rose and Night of Navy, Seaside Spray, Balmy Blue. It's just stunning. Some darker navy flowers. We've got some beautiful circles and then some lines on the back. And then the darker flowers with some greenery. And then some other lighter flowers. So that's option number 2. Option number 3 is the Fine Art Florals paper. And these are, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but you can see the brush strokes. So these were from an artist rendering and they translated it to paper. And you can just, it's stunning. Like the camera really doesn't do it justice. So we've got some flowers here, just some more solids on the back. Beautiful brush strokes. Hi, Corrine. I love this paper, just so pretty. That one again, and then a lighter version of the brush strokes, and then finally this piece here with the oranges. So those are the 3 paper stacks to choose from to make our calendar. So leave me a word in the comment if you want 1, 2, or 3. So 2 is the blues and pink flowers. 3 is our brush strokes, our artist blooms, and number 1 is our super sweet snails. Tell me which one you want us to work with for this calendar. And remember, everybody that shares is entered to a draw to receive tonight's project. So if there's one that you want to see, let me know. So I've got number 2. 2s are coming through, so we've got couple votes for these ones here. Looks like 2s unanimously. I'm loving this. All right, so let me get the other papers out of the way, and then we're going to make the super cute calendar. Okay, so here's the papers that we picked. And what I love about DSP is that the entire pack coordinates beautifully. So I can pick and choose what I want to use. And I think I want to go with this paper on the top piece. And I am going to go with the darker version on the bottom. So I'm going to put the rest of these aside. And then of course we need our base. So I think for this, I am going to stick with a Night of Navy. So I'm just going to grab that. And I'm going to pull in my paper trimmer. So these calendars are super easy to make. The first thing you're going to want to do is cut your base. So the base measures 4 inches. Let me double check that. Yes, 4 inches by 8 inches. So I'm going to cut this 4 inches. And then I'm just going to trim this down to 8 inches. And I'm going to score it at 4 along the long edge. And then you want a third piece of cardstock measuring 4 by 4. So let's cut that. So there's that. And then we're going to want 2 pieces of designer series paper measuring 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to start with the darker one here. So there's our dark paper, and then we're going to do the same thing with the lighter one. So again, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then you want to keep your trimmer handy because there's going to be one more step where you're going to require it. So the first thing we want to do is with our base that we've already scored. So you can go ahead and fold that in half, but we do need to use our trimmer because we're going to create a score line diagonally on the card. So what I like to do is just line up my corners in the track. So tip to tip. And then I'm just going to use my scoring blade to go across it. And this is what's going to allow you to create that easel and still have it lay flat. So once you've done that, you can put your trimmer to the side. Realized I hadn't pulled out my Stampin' seal yet, so I grabbed that while I was off camera. So then you're going to do a mountain fold on that score line. And if you have your bone folder, give it a nice burnished edge so that it swings freely. So you should have something that looks like that. And it doesn't matter which way you've scored, whether it swings this way or if it swings the other way. It's still going to sit on your desk. So next what you want to do is take that 4x4 piece of cardstock that we cut, and we're going to attach that to the base. And we're going to attach it just to the flap that sits against the base when you swing it up. So what I like to do here is actually put my Stampin' Seal or my Seal Plus right along the edges and down diagonally to make sure I get that nice bond. And I'm going to line it up along the edge that doesn't have any adhesive first before I lay the piece on. So now we've got that easel that's swinging and you've got a fuller base. So now it's just decorating and getting your calendar on. So I'm going to put my darker color DSP along the bottom. And again, I'm just using my Stampin' Seal. And we want to leave that nice 1/8 of an inch border. So give that a good push. And then we're going to put the lighter one on the top. And again, you've got that border, so just stick that down with your adhesive. There's that. Now you want to attach your calendar. So I have these little mini calendars and I get these from Tailored Expressions. It's a pack of 10 and it's all 12 months. You can get 16 months if you choose. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my seal. Again, you could use Tear and Tape or Seal Plus. You could even use Tombow multi-purpose glue. And I'm just going to go all the way around the perimeter and a couple of dabs in the middle. And then you want to figure out which way your easel is going to open. So this one is going to open this way. So I know I want my calendar to be this way here. And you want to center it as best as possible and give it a good rub. So now we have our cute little desk calendar. But of course, the easel is not going to stay on its own. So we need to do something here that's going to allow it to prop open. So I'm going to pull in a stamp set. And I hadn't pre-planned which sentiment I was going to use. So let's see. I think I'm going to pull in Lovely You and Cherished Friend, which you can see I haven't even assembled yet. So let's do that. So there's my stamp. Here is my labels. And if you've never put together cling stamps before, what I like to do is keep the label on the sheet. I've peeled off the protective backing, peeling off the backing from the stamp, and I'm just going to line up the stamp within the cutout that's already there, and then peel it off. I just find I get it lined up better doing it that way than trying to do it freehand. So there is our stamp. I'm going to pull in our Seaside Spray, and I'm going to pull in Rococo Rose. And I'm actually going to do both of these in the markers. So, and I'm going to get another scrap of white. So this one is 1 inch wide, which is perfect because I'm going to use our lovely label punch to give it a nice decorative edge. So this is a multifaceted punch. You can use 3 different sizes, and actually this one's slightly off, so I'm just going to trim it slightly. Make sure it's truly 1 inch. There we go. So it's going to fit right in the track here. What I like to do is turn it over to make sure that it's centered and flat, just so that it hasn't slipped around at all. Give it a punch. And you can see I've got that nice decorative end. So then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but I want to stamp my image first, and I want to do this in 2 colors, which is where the Stampin' Write markers come in handy. So I'm going to use the Seaside Spray on the Cherished. And because these are water markers, water-based markers, you can color, and when you breathe on it, the huffing that I mentioned on the first project, it moistens the ink back up, and then you can stamp. So that's how you can get both colors on there at the same time. Oops. And again, I'm just using the brush tip, and I like to do it on the side of the marker, coloring on the parts that will touch the paper. So now I'm just going to huff, and I should be able to stamp and get both colors. How awesome is that? So now we're going to stamp the other edge, and I'm just going to use my paper snips, which are buried under my paper. Here we go. Just do that. So it's going to go right in the punch once again. Flip it over, make sure you're lined up so you can see that it's not quite straight. So before I punch that, I want to make sure that I'm absolutely where I need to be. And there we have our tag. Now it's a little bit long, so I'm actually going to stick it right back in and punch it one more time. I'm happy with that. And I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to attach this to the base. And this is what's going to allow the easel to catch and stand. So you just need to pick where you want your easel to actually sit, and then you're going to tuck your tag on there so it catches. So there is our calendar, but of course I want to add a ribbon or a bow to that. So I am going to use our crinkled seam binding ribbon, which is Whisper White, and I want to make it Rococo Rose. So I'm going to pull in my dark Rococo Rose Stampin' Blend, and we are going to color our ribbon. So you're just going to use the brush tip of the Stampin' Blend, and then you're going to color your ribbon. This is a great way to get any color ribbon that you can dream of that's going to coordinate perfectly with your project. So there we go. So now I have this beautiful Rococo rose ribbon. I'm just going to tie a bow. You just fiddle with it until you get it how you like it. I'm happy with that. Trim that end. And then I'm going to use a glue dot to attach that. I'm going to do it on the left side. And glue dots here. I'm just going to pick one up like that. I'm going to attach it just above the calendar. And there we have our cute desktop calendar for 2021. And the best part about this is you could make this, it folds flat, fits in our envelopes, and you can mail that out to your family and friends. So there are our two cute little projects for this evening. I hope you enjoyed them. I will post instructions to the website a little bit later. So again, with the calendar and the hat. I'm just going to switch back the camera, so give me one quick second here. Welcome back. Try and get myself back in the frame. I hope you enjoyed this evening. I want to thank you all for your continued support over the last year. I know 2020 has been absolutely insane, and 2021 can only be better. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, and I wish you nothing but the happiest of New Year's. Have a great evening, everybody.